Hey everybody, Max Scoville here with your fix of entertainment news. Dune Part 2's director says its deleted scenes are deleted for good, Vinnie Jones is refusing to return as the Juggernaut for Deadpool and Wolverine, and on an extremely tragic note, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, has passed away at the age of 68. Let's get into it. Last night, the heartbreaking announcement was made that Akira Toriyama is no longer with us. An official statement from his company Bird Studio announced that the prolific manga artist passed away on March 1st at the age of 68. The cause of death was a subdural hematoma, which was seemingly very sudden as he was in the middle of multiple creative projects with great enthusiasm. Toriyama is of course best known for creating Dragon Ball, which got its start as a manga in the pages of Shonen Jump in 1984. Toriyama wrote and drew the sprawling martial arts epic effectively by himself for just over a decade. It spawned an even more popular anime series as well as numerous feature films, dozens of video games, a mountain of merchandise, and along the way, it amassed millions of fans around the world. Before he did Dragon Ball, Toriyama's first big hit was the manga Dr. Slump about a little robot girl and her inventor father. After Dragon Ball ended, Toriyama did Sandland, which only ran for one volume, but over 20 years after it was published, it's finally getting a video game and feature film adaptation later this year. One of Toriyama's upcoming projects was Dragon Ball Daima, a new anime series slated for release this fall that continues the adventures of Goku and friends after the events of Dragon Ball Super. Toriyama was supposedly more involved with its development and production than he'd been with any of the earlier anime projects, so it's really tragic to see him not get to finish his work on that. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Toriyama's contributions were integral in the rise of anime as a global phenomenon. Some of my earliest exposure to anime was watching DBZ on Toonami in the late 90s, and I know I'm not alone there. That said, his contributions to gaming were just as substantial. His artistic sensibilities dictated the look of the massively popular Dragon Quest video game series when that launched way back in 1986, and it's like still going strong now. There's also Chrono Trigger, Blue Dragon, Tobal #1 and #2. He also did lots of illustration, and he designed a line of model kits as well as a functional car. The dude loved vehicles, and it shows in his art. I'm gonna be honest, this one hit me really hard. I have always loved Toriyama's artistic style and his sense of humor, but he also just seemed like a really sweet guy. Despite his reputation for being somewhat shy and reclusive, his various author's notes and forewords and letters to fans have always been very personal and endearing. If you'd like to get a little retrospective on some of his lesser-known work, I highly recommend grabbing Akira Toriyama's Manga Theater. It's basically a bunch of shorter-form stuff that didn't quite have the same traction as Dragon Ball, but you can see the same creative DNA there. Yeah, this one really sucks. So, rest in peace, Toriyama-san. I hope you're up there with King Kai, cracking some bad jokes. Moving on, Dennis Villeneuve managed to fit quite a lot of movie into Dune Part 2, but some bits and pieces got left on the cutting room floor, and if he has his way, that's where they're gonna stay. Speaking to Collider, the director gruesomely explained, quote, "I'm a strong believer that when it's not in the movie, it's dead. Sometimes I remove shots and I say, I cannot believe I'm cutting this out. I feel like a samurai opening my gut. It's painful, so I cannot go back after that and create a Frankenstein and try to reanimate things that I killed. It's too painful. When it's dead, and it's dead for a reason." But yes, it is a painful project, but it's my job. The movie prevails. I'm very severe in the editing room. I'm not thinking about my ego. I'm thinking about the movie. I killed darlings, and it's painful for me. While I appreciate his commitment to his creative decisions, this is a little bit of a letdown. I would happily sit through an extra hour or two slapped onto either film were we to get some kind of Peter Jackson-style extended version of Dune. A little while back, we learned that actor Tim Blake Nelson shot scenes for Part 2 and was heartbroken to see that they didn't make the final cut, and I guess it's kind of going to stay that way. Unless, of course, WB decides to overstep Denny's wishes, which wouldn't be totally unheard of. Maybe we'll get some kind of, special Dune director's cut that the director didn't actually have anything to do with. It's happened. Continuing the theme of bad news, anybody really hoping to see Vinnie Jones reprise his role as the unstoppable Juggernaut from X-Men The Last Stand? Well, let me stop you right there. Speaking to Yahoo UK, Jones said that he was approached about making an appearance in this summer's Deadpool and Wolverine, but he turned it down. He explained, quote, "I spoke to the director and I just said it's such a drama putting that suit on, mentally and physically. I mean, it had its mental toll as well because you're in it and you can't do anything all day. You can only drink through a straw, so we couldn't strike the deal for Deadpool and Wolverine." I don't know about you guys, but I would drink through a straw for a few hours to be in the MCU. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I mean, Vinnie Jones, he's got money, and if he doesn't want to wear that stupid thing on his head, that's up to him. That's not to say we're not gonna see some iteration of Kane Marco in Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool 2's massive CGI incarnation of Professor X's shitty half-brother Kane Marco did survive the events of the last film, so maybe he'll pop up again. That is your fix of entertainment news for Friday, March 8th, 2024. If you want something else to watch, a few months ago I did a big feature on Dragon Ball Daima, which was basically just an excuse to talk about how much I love Akira Toriyama's work, so go check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you for watching, have a great weekend, we'll see you next week, hopefully with some happier news.